When I was in 3rd grade, I wanted to be an elementary school teacher. When I was in middle school, I wanted to be a middle school teacher, so on and so forth. So I was going through college, and I'm like, this is the last stop. I'm going to be teaching high school students. And then, of course, as I've done throughout my entire life, I realized that I want to teach at the college level. And so it's just always been a passion of mine, thinking about how to get the most out of students. Something fascinating about music to me is the fact that it's completely dynamic. It goes beyond the words and goes directly to the emotion that's going on and strikes into our very soul. You know, one of the articles that I'm writing for a book that's going to come out this year is based off my archival study in the Moscow Glinka Museum, which they have a lot of the original manuscripts and compositional notebooks of Alexander Scriabin. And I'm analyzing this piece of music, and I notice something very weird's happening at this precise measure in the music. And so I'm going and looking through this manuscript, and I find that there are 3 different versions of it. There's the final version, and then there's another version, and a 3rd version. And when you know it, in both of these different versions is exactly where in the compositional notebook that the notes trail off, and you see constant revisions. So it's a way of saying, you know, this thing I'm noticing in the music, the composer was struggling at this very moment because this was a critical portion in writing this piece. And so, you know, that's one of the fun things I was able to look at. You know, I can tell you the broader aspects of the theory, but also I can go into that depth and be like, you know, if you travel to Moscow and you go to this one museum and you get permission from the Russian government to look at these sources, and you look at these sources, you can find some really cool stuff. One of my major goals as a teacher here at KSU is we're teaching material that is often very old, and it doesn't represent, you know, the United States of America. So one of the things is we're going through our syllabus, and we're making sure that the students who are in the classroom are going to see themselves in the composers and the musicians who are being studied in class. That is so important to us that we are creating our own materials. We're getting grants to write our own sight singing textbooks, and those textbooks are going to feature excerpts that represent those composers and those singers that are representative of today. In addition, something that we are trying to do as part of the music theory program is we're getting grants for the vast majority of our courses. So we can tell our students that when you come to music at Kennesaw State University, we're going to make sure you're not buying a single textbook for aural skills. We're going to make sure you're buying very little, if nothing, for our entire music theory curriculum. And that's a very important place I want to go. Music theory as fundamental core should change one of 2 things. 1, it should change how someone listens to a piece of music, and 2, it should change how a person thinks about their own performance of the music. In terms of what music theory has done in my life, part of my passion and my research has gotten me to a point where I'm able to travel the entire country spreading this message that music theory can fundamentally change the way you interact and think about music on a deeper level.